Hello to you, my fellow Dark Ones, and welcome to Project Infinity 1.0. How are you guys doing today? How's life? I have been watching Lady Snock playing Project Ozone 3 Mythic mode and I was like, I really need a skyblock, and I'm very happy that I found one. Hello, we just have to make sure that we land in the water. I'm amazing at this game, you knew that. Like any other skyblock, this mod pack starts super easy, with sieving, and at the end game we're going to have a few crazy crafts. Oh, and guess what? Your favorite mod is here. We should wrap up the series. No, we are obviously going to start by punching wood. Thankfully, we do have vein miner. Give me. We're going to replant the sapling, and yes, we do have twerking. Oh my goodness. Okay, we got all of that. So let me get some wood. I'll be right back. Now that I got some wood, let's try to check out the quests. So there's a welcoming quest giving us some food, extra saplings, and some coins. Obviously the coins we can use in order to purchase things from the shop, including flight. But it is early ex nihilo, so we already know what to do. And here is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to plant a tree. We're going to make ourselves a crafting table. We're going to use that in order to make, I don't know, 2 crooks. We're going to use the crook in order to get silkworms, you know, from the leaves. And then we're going to grow 2 trees and we're going to infest the leaves using the worms. So while the leaves are being infested, let's get some cobblestone. You just hold sneak and right click on grass, that gives you pebbles. It's actually quite fast. The pebbles are going to give us cobblestone, cobblestone is going to give us a furnace, and we're going to try and make some charcoal. You know, the ability to sneak and right click is an integral part of every expert mode mod pack. Our leaves are fully infested, we vein mine them. We get our string. So I don't know about you, but the first thing that I'm going to make is going to be a bed. There could be phantoms. Also, a very garbage axe would help us a bit more in getting some resources. So I have been checking, apparently we have this mod where you press Shift and K and it compresses everything for you. We needed one more. Thank you. And now that we have some resources, let us also try and make our platform a bit bigger. I just made a stone construction wand. It's very garbage, I know. Honestly, it does have a decent durability. Also, before John Cena spawns, let's have a few torches. Because there is a Botania source light over here and I broke it, it was meddling with the trees. And since it is our first night, we also take a nap. I don't really know how long it takes for phantoms to spawn. And in order to continue, here's what we're going to do. That is a stone hammer. We're gonna hammer down some cobblestone, like so. That gives us gravel, right? We're gonna convert some of that into flint. And I think flint gives you shears, perfect. Because I need some leaves. Everything I do is a quest. Oh, it's one of those things. You can repair it. Okay. It's like slightly cheaper but very irritating. Especially in the early game. But we're going to make a few barrels. 2 crucibles is not a bad idea. Which now that I'm thinking, that was actually a waste because we do have a water source block over there. But who cares? That should give us water. You know, if you heat it up with a torch. And just in case, we put the rest over here if it rains. So with the string that we got, I did manage to make 8 meshes, and let's try to get 8 sieves. It's a bit of an overkill for what we have at this very moment, but 8 should be a fine number. We're looking for some iron. Yes, like that one. Oh, you even get raw ore. Interesting. Normally you would go with porcelain and clay, but unfortunately the bucket recipe doesn't seem to work. Or at least that's how it works in my version. This is why we need some iron in order to make a bucket. And honestly speaking, it shouldn't be that hard. Yeah, we already got it. You know, I could be wrong and this could totally work, but we have our bucket. And that should be our infinite water source. Oh, it rained. You know, I always put down the barrels so that we get some rain in them, and it never rains. I guess everybody should have a first time. Oop. We have a barrel. I just gathered a bunch more pebbles. Let's hammer them down. Also, even though I was excited that it's raining, remember, I hate the rain. But let's get some gravel. And I also take it back, stone tools have garbage durability. But that is perfectly fine, they're cheap and garbage. Oh, they don't break, is the thing. Anyways, that should be our sand. Also, am I duping stuff? Because I'm thinking I'm getting things more. But let's get some dust. Yeah, you get more. That's interesting. Because remember, I did not place down that much cobblestone. But you guys know the drill. Dust inside a barrel with water gives you clay, which is perfect. We shall break down the clay. We're also going to make ourselves a composter and we're going to compost leaves. It's an easier way of getting bone meal. So if things have not changed, yeah, we need 7 bone meal. That should give us 7 porcelain clay balls. That should give us a crucible. Another thing that we have to check, yeah, we have tiny coal. We don't waste much. So if we put the crucible on top of a torch and give it a bit of cobblestone, that should give us lava. It will take 4.5 million years, but we will get it, don't you worry. I just want to get myself a cobblestone generator, that's it. Yeah, you see, there is a wooden one which is garbage, there is a stone one which is less garbage, and there is an iron one. So I'm assuming getting a teeny tiny bit more iron is not a bad thing, we can do the upgrade. We actually do need to have a decent supply of iron, I think 9 in total. 3 for the buckets, 6 for the cobblestone generator. Okay, we already have 7, some are being cooked, we should be good. Oops, give me. You feel like someone's chasing you, we have blood moons. That's actually not amazing, but our bucket of lava is ready. So that's our garbage cobblestone generator, that should be a quest, maybe not. In order to upgrade it, we need more lava. It's okay, while the lava is cooking, I'll get some more wood. Also, it's not a blood moon. Because I did manage to sleep, right? Also, we have done so many quests, let's get our rewards. Let's claim them all. Oops. Oh, hi, friend. You don't look like a friend. Does it hit you? No. Maybe it is a friend. It's a very irritating friend. I work here, he makes noises. That one we'll keep. Yeah, he was also glowing all the time. We keep him in a chest. Our second bucket of lava is ready. So we're going to upgrade our cobblestone generator to tier 2. And I'm going to need more lava, but before doing that, let's also place down our cobblestone with a drawer on top like so. I do need to save because I think our next tier of meshes is going to be flint. And I don't have enough. Actually, maybe I do. I thought you need 8 flint for an upgrade, you need only 4. Then we're good. That does mean there should be better chances of getting iron, right? And more goodies. It has not been a crazy amount of time later, I have just been sieving a teeny tiny bit and I also upgraded 2 furnaces into iron furnaces. They cook a teeny tiny bit faster and besides, I have tons of iron now. By tons I mean like 2 stacks, maybe. However, my suspicion was actually true, it does give you double the output when you hammer something. So let us make a block of compressed cobblestone, and if you hammer it, yeah, you get 2. They did mention that this mod pack has a lot of bugs and it's in beta, but I don't think this is a bug. Maybe it is. Yeah, that also gives you 2. But I have been cooking some iron because I want to be able to upgrade the meshes into iron. So there you go. 8 of them. That should have a better chance of giving us iron as well as diamonds, I think, but also copper. I need to upgrade the barrels, but I'm not exactly sure. Let's give it a test. I know copper is like double the chance. Oh yeah, we're getting way more goodies. Yeah, definitely more goodies. I got diamonds. Lovely. But obviously after iron mesh we have to go to gold and we don't have enough gold. Although, did you know we can cheat? I like cheating. We're gonna go into creative. No. Yeah, we're gonna make 2 blocks of iron and we're going to make a hammer from the old mods team. They do have all the ores in this mod pack, so we should be able to do some ore dabbling. Can I harvest it with you? No, that is perfectly fine. We use a pickaxe. So that's 7 raw ore. That's 14 dust. Also, the rain is weird. I have been sieving for a while and I was looking for copper, but then I realized, I actually forgot about this, copper has default fortune. You know, you always get a bit more from the ore, so I think we're good. This is why the chances of copper are so low. And for some reason, everything that I do is a quest. I don't really have anything to complain about, it's just that I'm out of inventory. But for the moment, that should be a copper upgrade. And now that I have the copper upgrade, I can make the iron upgrade. You cannot jump. So there you go. Now we have more storage. And also in the meantime, these are our gold meshes. But I think I do have to make my job a bit easier, so let's try to get a compacting upgrade, the advanced version. And if I am not wrong, there is also a collector upgrade. Oh yeah, it's called magnets. I can't make it. We need pearls. It's okay. For the moment, I can even have a gold upgrade. But let me try to get some redstone and then I will try to make a compacting upgrade. What? Dimensional shard. Dimensional pockets. Weird stuff. That is our advanced compacting upgrade, which is amazing. And we're just gonna set filters for the things that we want. We don't want it to mess it up. Compact anything works in the GUI as well. Yeah, perfect. I have been sieving, but unfortunately most of my time is wasted on the furnaces. So I think we can upgrade them to gold, which is obvious. I have smelted some glass, so we should be able to upgrade them to diamonds. And I think we have enough emeralds to go to emerald. And that should be way faster, right? It's not like a super fast furnace, but it will do. Because I do need to cook a lot of stuff and, well, I can't wait all the time. So the reason that I wanted furnaces to work a bit faster is that in this mod pack we can make botany pots. So I don't have to just chop down trees, we can automate it. Maybe we should get more. Also, I have not been carrying water in order to get dust, it has been raining for the longest time. But yeah, we shall have 3 of them, we're going to make a bunch of hoppers, and now they're going to be hopping botany pots. And everything has EMC. For the moment, we're just going to put them on top of a barrel, which we can later upgrade. And let us hope that this one doesn't require any tools. I don't think it does. Yeah, it's just growing very slowly. It should build up over time. I have a lot of work to do. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a brand new problem. I want to do a few things, and for them, unfortunately, I need the crucible to work incredibly fast. So if you look at the JEI, yeah, the crucible has different heat sources and, well, most of them we can't afford. But there are a few that we might be able to afford, so let's get some dirt. I forgot this process takes time. It's okay, we do the rest manually. It's not really a crazy amount of dirt, but we should also use string meshes, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, we get all kinds of garbage. What we're looking for is this one, mycelium spores. So with the mycelium spores, one of the things that we can do is that we can right click on dirt, like so, and we get mycelium, right? And now if we put a barrel on top and provide it with a teeny tiny bit of water, we get witch water, after a bajillion years. Also, I have diamonds, let's make better tools. You know, at least things that don't break every 5 seconds. Yeah, this is way better. Let's also get some armor, just in case. We look fancy. I just made myself a stone barrel, and apparently if we put witch water on top, we get black stone. That's actually not really what I wanted netherrack. Okay, so the witch water goes into the barrel, then we use lava. Yeah, that's netherrack. Give me. So this is going to be ridiculous because I need like 10 buckets of lava, but if we break it, we get 2, right? Yep. And if we switch our meshes back to diamonds like so, there's like a 50% chance of getting magma cream. I got 1. So with magma cream, this is going to work like 100 times faster or something crazy? Yeah. Although I could have gone with a block of blazing crystal too. It's okay. We can have 1 more. And it consumes both fluids. But it's good that every time that we crush something, we get 2 of them. Yeah, but I have to get lucky. Thorium. I hate you. I couldn't wait that long, I had to add way more crucibles. It's not gonna be a crazy amount, but I'm really hoping that I'm going to get 4 magma cream. There is a very high chance that I will not, I just got 7. But that should give us 14 crushed, and apparently, yeah, that is a feature. Because it does show you in the JEI. Come on. What did we get? I got another one, okay. You know, I should have gone with blazing crystals from power, that would have been a bit faster. But we got 2. Can't really complain. Oh! I missed those. Yeah, I just went to get some more witch water. Hello? I'm gonna sleep. Don't spawn a wither on top of me, please. And also, do you work faster? Oh my goodness. Finally. Lava. My fellow lords and ladies of darkness, for me it is the next day and it's like 5 AM. I couldn't sleep. I just wanted to be able to play. There has been a few changes because I was very sleepy and my coffee was not ready. So I had to work a bit on my own, but we have our furnace setup over here. It's semi-automatic. And we do have a stack upgrade tier 4. It's also in the sieving area. And you know, my barrel of goodies, where I craft. I have added more bonsai pots. I did manage to get moth, which is really not a big deal. You sift dirt, you get grass seeds, you combine 4 grass seeds, you get moth, and then you plant it on stone, and you get the block. And by sieving moth, what you would be able to get is azalea, spruce, and etc. Oh, and most importantly, I made myself a jumbo tank. It can hold 1,000 buckets and I'm using it in order to bank some lava. That's it. Oh, and by the way, we do have tinkers in this mod pack, but the crafting station does not hook up with barrels or chests. And also the crafting recipes inside are weird, so I do have a normal crafting table. Anyways, moving on, let's get a few aqueous accumulators. And I need a few automations, so let's put one of them over here. And now that we have access to spruce, let's get some of the best trapdoors ever. You know, so that we don't flood the island. You can go there. So if we put 2 water sources next to the aqueous accumulator, what is going to happen is that it's going to give us free water, right? That does mean if I get some mycelial spores, which I have kept some, we get 3. And you know, put our barrels like so, we would be able to semi-automate witch water. Obviously, if we extract from the aqueous accumulator. Yeah, that should be a decent buffer. It will build up over time. Another thing is that inventory management is a bit of a problem and I wanted to rush towards applied energistics. However, we have a slight issue. So far you might have noticed that, yeah, it doesn't look like an expert mod pack, but there are gates. And it will get harder as we go on. So, for example, what we are going to need in order to make the inscribers from applied energistics are Certus Quartz Essence. And how do you make the essence? A runic altar. Not totally a big deal, but we do have a cheaty way. Refined storage. I have absolutely no idea why it's not gated, but it doesn't seem to be. I can craft everything. Well, I have been cooking some silicon from Certus Quartz Dust. We also need to have slime balls, and I think the easiest way for us at this very moment is to use magma cream. We wash it. And remember, I don't really have tons of resources, but let's see how far we can go. So that is our quartz enriched iron. I don't know how many casings we are going to need, but let's go with 3, maybe 4. And then we just try to make the parts, I suppose. That means if I'm not wrong, that should be our controller. That was easy. We need to power it, obviously. That should be our drive, and that should be our grid. Which of course we're just going to upgrade it to a crafting grid. Voila. I made all of that with literally 1 slime. So for powering everything and also to make storage components, what we're going to need is a teeny tiny bit more quartz. It's not a crazy amount, but let's see if we got lucky. 12 is fine. We do need to get into a teeny tiny bit of power, and maybe we should use lava, it's cheaper and gives you a better yield. Yeah, it doesn't really make much of a difference on coal, so yeah, we just use this recipe, it's faster. So here is 1 energizing rod, starter. We should be able to upgrade it into basic. We can have an energizing orb, and I guess for now, a magmator. Can it also be basic? Yeah, why not? That's actually quite nice, we're getting power. So I think for the quest to count, let's get some uranium. And I think if we put it inside the energizing orb, it's going to give us uranite. That's just for the quest, nothing fancy. Oh, it has to be raw uranite. Oops. Well, never mind. But you guys already know the drill. We want to have a bit more power, so let's do some upgrades. That should be energized steel. Because this basic magmator is just garbage. It gives you like 80... Oh, that's not bad. 80 RF is good. We go a bit higher then. We don't go crazy. I personally think a blazing magmator will do for now. I also did manage to make myself 1 16K storage disk, and that should be fine. And since crafting is a bit painful, let's have our disk over there. Are you getting power? Yeah. The disk goes in. We're waiting for it to charge up. Yeah, we can put some garbage inside. That's perfect. All I wanted. That's so sad. That's our entire wealth. But that is magmator hardened. And what do I need for blazing? Oh yeah, the crystals. So there you go, that's 800 RF. So if I switch it, we should get more power, right? It needs to make 10 million. But yeah, lava is keeping up, and that's the most important thing. You know, I forgot, one of the good things about refined storage is that it doesn't have type of items, it's just items. And I also forgot, that was not our entire wealth. There's plenty in the chests. And we're getting quests. Alright guys, I think refined storage is a decent place to slow down a bit for episode 1. And I was thinking maybe we should start focusing on making a base. Unfortunately, in this mod pack you don't have anything to build with. So I have added a few mods myself. For example, this is a 1.20 mod pack and we don't have the copper grates. So I added a mod which gives us that option. It's exactly the same recipes that we have in vanilla, nothing super fancy. I have also added 2 mods which gives us blocks from Thaumcraft. None of them are functional, all of them are decorative, and some of them are expensive. I have also added cooking for blockheads because, you know, we need a kitchen. But we are not going to use the sink because it was not included in the mod pack. This is why I made an aqueous accumulator, otherwise a sink would have been useful as well, but we are going to use it only for the kitchen. Obviously, I added supplementaries, I added Farmer's Delight, I added handcrafted, and I think I also added a mod, yeah, which is called decorative blocks. You know, gives you supports. And I like how they look. So those were the mods that I have added, but there's also Botania, which gives us nice building blocks. We also have blood magic. You know, this stone path is one of my favorite blocks, especially the bloody one. It's not very bloody, don't you worry. It's just filled with life essence. So instead, here's what we're going to do until the end of the episode. I have made a very small grass patch in hopes of getting some passive animals, but it has been a while and nothing has spawned. Maybe I'm too close. I'm not sure. We're also going to have another small patch for Botania and blood magic. You know, so that I would be able to get some of my building blocks. I know these are garbage platforms, but we will remove them very soon, don't you worry. By very soon, I just mean in a few 100 hours, and yeah, I also added more botany pots. So let us start with a teeny tiny bit of blood magic. Here is our altar. Thankfully, we can make a sacrificial knife. And we stab. I have a lot of blood. Also, I just remembered, I don't really have that much to eat. Well, we have apples. Worst comes to worst, we can always have more bread, if it doesn't fall down. So we have 2 buckets of blood inside the altar, that means we can make our first orb. That is lovely. Another thing is that it does scare me that why isn't it a quest? And you have to click. But now that we have our first orb, one of the things that we can make is the incense altar. That makes it so that we get a teeny tiny boost and we don't die. You see? The dagger is glowing. Another very small thing is that I'm trying to make some slates in order to upgrade the blood altar, and so far I have made 4, but it does look way faster, right? Look. Yeah, it's ready. That is weird. Or maybe it just feels faster, I'm not sure. Anyways, regardless if it's faster or not, we have 27. That's a good number. And yeah, I have been smelting down some charcoal as well as stone. Let's try to get as many blank ruins as possible. And now let us focus on the tier 2 orb. That requires 5000 LP. And I have also discovered there is an emerald apple. Gives you super regeneration. Oh, it's a garbage one, I forgot. It's fine, I just made a boo-boo. That's a tier 1 altar. Now it's a tier 2 and we can craft the orb. Lovely. So if I'm not wrong, this one should give me the path. Perfect. It's a nice looking block, right? I know I said that I just want the path, but let's get the other path as well. That requires a tier higher, but I think we should be able to manage it. I just had to make more slates because I had 8 over here and when I vein mined them, they fell down. But I think what I got is already more than enough, right? That should be tier 3. I think. I don't have the book. We just have to go up by 3 blocks, 1 glowstone. I think that's correct. Considering the fact that I have assembled this guy like a few million times, it would be really stupid of me not to know. But there's an easy way of testing it, if we do manage to get an imbued slate. Yeah, that is reinforced, and we're getting the imbued, so it is correct. But I think the imbued requires 5000 LP, and we ran out. I'll get it, don't you worry. That is 8000 LP, you go in. We should get the imbued. Yeah, precisely. So with that imbued slate, we're going to make a rune of capacity. I think we are going to need like 3 more. That will increase the capacity of the altar from 10, well, to 18. Each one is 2, so we're at 12. I have upgraded the blood altar. We have 4 runes of capacity, therefore we have 18 buckets inside the altar. I added 4 runes of self-sacrifice so that I would be able to donate more blood. And in order to make the magician's orb, we're still missing 7 buckets. So first, you go in. I will have a relic apple. It's from bubbly heart canisters. And then we stab. We might have to stab more. Come on. You can do this. Yeah, I think we're fine. Oh, we got it. Lovely. For obvious reasons, this is where we stop. We can't go to tier 4. But the magician orb is going to provide us with the stone path, which looks amazing. But I think we are going to go with the tile. You know, for our floor. After I get the bloody version, we will mix and match it. It will look nicer. So as usual, be gentle. Remember, I'm not a builder, I just made a corridor. But this is going to be the start of our base. Although we're not going to go with refined storage, we're eventually going to switch to applied energistics because, well, the add-ons are just great. Refined storage doesn't have anything. So I have also made a block of blazing crystal. We're gonna switch it with the magma block. Because I have just been checking and apparently our refined storage system only uses 5 RF per tick. And yeah, even though we're not gonna fill it in, we have an extra drive. You know, for symmetry purposes. And I just remembered, thankfully you kept the power. I don't have a crucible. Here is our garbage magmator. And yeah, we're getting power. Oh, and by the way, when I was working over here, we got some animals. We have 3 cows. We also got a sheep, but then 2 wolves spawned. They killed the sheep, so I killed the wolves. And for the moment, that's what we're left with. But in the meantime, let's get an extra cobblestone generator for our magmator, so that the crucible would make some lava. We don't have to go to the highest tier, gold is fine. Actually, the gold itself is even an overkill. And I also forgot about the pipe, so there you go. So obviously we are extremely poor and anything that we get is going to be hyper useful. And therefore I have been thinking, should we go to the Twilight Forest? We need some flowers, obviously. Because remember, over at the Twilight Forest there should be animals, there should be zombies, there should be even spiders, and I can use that in order to make a mob farm. And not to mention, there could also be a lot of dirt. Currently I'm just using the gravel and dirt thing where you make coarse dirt. It's not very painful, it's just that I'm lazy. And we have all kinds of flowers. You go in. Thank you. So I think let's take an extra axe and maybe a shovel. And let us hope when we get back it doesn't drop us into the void. Let's go in. Raven, I come in peace. Yeah, just die like a normal human. Solidify the experience. Oh, we have actually additions. Textures have been changed. Also, let's remember, this is home. And let's get some food. Ah, yes, we have chickens. And most importantly, we get free obsidian. We can even go to a hollow hill, but there's not much that I need. Sifting is easier. Another thing that I wanted to mention is that it's a bit hazy. You know, if I had my apples, we would have been able to kill the Naga easily, but let's check. He does a lot of damage. I'm out. I'm just literally wearing 2 pieces of armor. In order to make a chicken feed for the mob farm, we need zombie flesh, right? Yeah, we got 2. If I also manage to find the spider, life will be amazing. The only problem is that I forgot to bring a torch. It's a weird spider. We want the eye. Please forgive me if it's... Oh my goodness, we're being ambushed. Anyways, forgive me if it's dark, I'll just try to find the spider. That's all I want. Yeah, we need the rotten chicken feet. Oh, I also need a bone. They gave me a bone. Don't know why. Yeah, we just need the eye. That's it. Yes, Lily of the Valley. I did not pick up flowers. Ever. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there should be spiders in there. I don't like mazes. That's a wolf. It doesn't have enough legs. But yeah, that was a spider. It's a poisonous one. Just drop the eye. I'll be happy. Yes. We're done. Actually, there's always a chance that I'm wrong about the bone. Let me try to find the skeleton. Hi. I think the skeleton found us. I'm inside the hollow hill, just in case you're wondering. I hear a skeleton. Yes. Give me your bone. Thank you. Not the arrow, the bone. We're out. Also, I am definitely coming back here. There's so much ore. I am back from the Twilight Forest. We did manage to get everything that we are going to need, and I just remembered, one of the reasons that I wanted a ton of lava was not just for power. It was also for endstone. I have been sifting a teeny tiny bit of endstone, and well, what did I get? Eyes of the Ender, Ender Pearls, and Skulk, and Draconium, and also Prosperity Shards. That's going to be very useful. I don't care about this one. And why did we need Eyes of the Ender? XP Drain Singularity Tank. And also later on our item collector, if we want to have a mob farm. We need 1 bucket? Maybe. Oh, that is a quest. Oh, you need 4 buckets. But ladies and gentlemen, that is our chicken feed. And now that I want a chicken, I can't find anything. Oh, finally. Move. And eat. Thank you. Now we can have a mob farm. I wasn't recording, but it gave me a message which does not appear in chat. Something spawned from underground and died. And I got Devil's Urchin. What the hell? Run away. I don't want to know what those things were. There was meant to be a montage of me making a mob farm. It went horribly wrong. So in this mod pack there are like weird mobs which spawn weird creatures. I even had to load a backup because everything was exploding. For me it's actually the next day and I have been trying in a creative world. With our current technology we cannot have a mob farm. Let me correct myself, we cannot have a mob farm which doesn't blow up. But don't you worry, instead we have a kitchen. Is it as useful as a mob farm? Not really. But in our kitchen we do actually have a mob farm. It's a delightful dirt mob farm and yeah, you might notice that from time to time we do get grass on top. So I have a button. It will wash off everything. Yeah. Now we get mobs. There's going to be 2 of them. One of them, which is this one, is giving us the raw food as well as tons of experience. And this one is going to give us liquid meat and pink slime later on. Also, when I mentioned that we cannot have a mob farm with our current technology, I don't really mean something super fancy. At first I thought, okay, I can grind for a bit of draconium and get the mob grinder from Draconic Evolution. We basically need a mob grinder, but that's its recipe. Which is obviously not going to happen anytime soon, but there is the mob crusher from Industrial Foregoing. That does have a decent recipe, but it does require pink slime and netherite. Oops. We will fix that. That is something that we are going to do next episode, but for today, here's what we're going to do. We are going to work on latex, so we're going to need a few fluid extractors. Maybe some cables from power? As you know, the fluid extractors work faster with power, so that's an acacia log. It's the best we got. We shall have a latex processing unit, and let's see if we can provide it with a teeny tiny bit of water. It doesn't have to look fancy, these are garbage setups. So that is latex with water, we should get some rubber. Perfect. So what we are going to do at this very moment had nothing to do with the mob farm, it's going to help me with resource generation. How? By having a resource fisher. I know, that sounds very stupid, but bear with me for a second. So I have made the resource fisher, but we're not looking for fish, we're looking for ink sacs. Now that we're getting tons of experience from the kitchen itself, the mob farm, I thought we should get some enchanted books. And enchant the sieves. The easiest way of getting enchanted books is going to be Ender.io. Unfortunately, I'm missing ink sacs. And I need cables. And I need wireless technology, so that I don't have to walk. That should be some extra cables. With more steel. And yeah, we're getting garbage. I think in 1.12, if you go to the Twilight Forest, you would be able to find squid. But unfortunately, after the recent changes, that Twilight River is not a river. So squids don't spawn. Trust me, I have been there for a very long time. Well, we do have a fisher. I did manage to get some upgrades. One of them I cannot craft because it does require blaze rods. But it's working at a decent speed and there's a 1% chance of getting 10 ink sacs, so it could take a while. However, in the meantime, I have made a manufactory from a mod whose name I shall not mention. Because in order to make dark steel, you need pulverized coal. That was the cheapest thing. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, if you want the fisher to give you books and treasures, you have to make it 5x5. Otherwise you get junk. However, in the meantime, we have a bit more draconium. We're gonna cook it in the kitchen. That's weird, I know. Oh, that's a quest. Weird. That should give us a draconium core. We need more leather. Oh, we have plenty. I just made 2 enchanting tables. We're going to use one of them in order to make a disenchanter. In this mod pack, it rains a lot. And I really mean a lot. So the reason that I made the disenchanter is that, yeah, we can get mending books from the enchanter from Ender.io. However, I did manage to see a few. Also, no ink sacs. Yeah, that is mending. Unbreaking and soulbound is not that bad. And I guess we wait for more mending. That's a decent bow. Yeah. We keep that one. So the disenchanter does take a crazy amount of levels, but we can afford it. And apparently we're out. But don't you worry, there's actually additions. It has been ages. We got 10. I actually checked the wiki, it's a 0.1% chance. Look at the number of fish. We don't have enough ink sacs at this very moment, so we're just gonna start with fortune. You go there, you go there. Fortune 3. Okay, so our sieves have fortune 3. Let us see if it has an impact. It should. The problem is that I picked up everything. Oh yeah, it does. I see more garbage. I think it does. The problem is that if I get 10 more ink sacs, which I just got. Thank you. I just wanted to say we can also have efficiency. How do you get efficiency? I think it's redstone. I just wanted to mention, we're out of experience. And we're also almost out of redstone. I had like 600 or 700 in the system, and the anvil is also breaking. But that is our final mesh. So is it gonna be faster? Feels faster. I'm not crazy, right? That feels faster. Sand is actually a very garbage thing to test with. Cause yeah, you see, it gives you the least amount of resources, maybe with a flint mesh. Not with diamonds. Wait, what? I saw all the modium. Oh, okay. You need netherite. Let me try to get some gravel. I'm not a fan of sand. Oh yeah, that looks way better. Way better. Alright guys, for me it is the next day and you might notice we're filthy rich. Our processing speed is a bit garbage, but that can be fixed. And that is exactly why I have started making solar panels. This is the way to go. There are other types of power generation as well, but solar panels are the most reliable in any skyblock. The problem is that I ran out of resources and therefore I could not make any more. And yeah, I have been sifting a lot so that we would be able to make a teeny tiny bit more. I have an energy trash can so that I would be able to empty them so that they would stack. The problem is that the price goes up exponentially. But we have 4 solar panels tier 5 and it does seem we can go to tier 6. Precisely, I have 2 solar panels tier 6 and they generate 4000 RF. We're just gonna switch the cables to blazing and they can transfer 20,000 RF, which is not that bad. Now we have decent supply of power. Of course, not to mention, only during the day. Let's break these, and we are going to upgrade them to factories so that they work faster. Although you need to update the cables. Yeah, we're almost out of everything, but can I have literally 1 importer? Yeah, that's it. Because I have to carry everything back into our system and then start crafting, but if we have an importer, things will be better. Thankfully in this mod pack we do have dimensional chests, because if there is an ender chest, which there's not, you do need the blaze rod. This one does not. Oh, actually that is something that they wanted us to do. It's a quest. So now we would be able to smelt things way faster, and it also goes to our system. If I'm right. Yeah, it is going in. Perfect. So as I have already mentioned, we are going to leave the rest of the technological progress for next episode, but I don't mind going to the Nether. One of the most important things which is holding us back is netherite. And let's see if we can get some smithing templates as well as some cheaty netherite. And yes, I'm going to make a jetpack. Not sure how far I can go, but that is a wooden one. It's not a quest. That should be copper. That should be iron, gold, diamond. We're almost done, because that one is emerald. How do we charge it? Well, there's a cheaty way of making electrum, signalum and etc. in this mod pack using a fire charge, so we have the energetic infuser from thermal series. It's a bit slow. One of the things that you might notice is that I have made myself a satchel from thermal series as well. I didn't know how to upgrade it, so I made myself an integral component. Yeah, reinforced. So maybe you should charge a bit faster? Yeah, it's faster. Not the best. Unless we can make some flux linkage majigabobs. Yeah, that's not happening. It's okay. I'll wait. And besides, now I have to configure the buttons. Waystones are also a thing in this mod pack, so let's get a few. Again, something they wanted us to do. And I already have a backpack with a decent stack upgrade, so don't you worry. For the moment this is going to be home. And let's get one more. I have made myself 2 emerald apples. There are different types. One of them gives you fire resistance, the other one is garbage. Yeah, I think the one from Cyclic is not the best. I'm using the one from Pickled Twigs. I have extra hammers, I have extra pickaxes. We have some food, so I guess let's go. There is a nether cake, but the portal seems to work. Where am I? Oh, hi. Oh, wow. What? Why am I in garbage? But that is going to be tons of netherrack. Oh, I also made the magnets. Yes, we're just gonna hammer it because later on we're just gonna sieve it. Yeah, I just want to get out of here. I'm still inside the cave. It's lovely that they add the interesting biomes, but I need an opening. Like that one. We take some soul sand. Cause why not? I don't know what kind of a biome was that, but I'm glad I'm out. Okay, so that is our fortress. We also need to be able to find a bastion. Oh. Hi. They're like next to each other. I don't think you have the thing that I need, but we will see. Well, they have the scrap. They have obsidian. Whoop. They have crying obsidian. And nothing. Well, there's a smithing template. I can look fancy. Oh, come on. I think as usual, this is just not the correct bastion, right? Oh my goodness, what? No wonder this place is laggy. If you sieve Blackstone, one of the things that you're going to get, this is another fortress by the way, but if you sieve Blackstone, what you're going to get is ancient debris. I thought I have to look for it and look at the biome. There is a phantom in the nether. But I did manage to find a bastion and I think this one is the correct one. I could be wrong, I'm not an expert. I could be right. Give me the template. Yes! So much garbage, we take them all. Well, that was a successful journey. I also put a waypoint on a fortress, so we can just go home. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back in the overworld, and apparently I have made a slight boo-boo. I have been sieving for a while, and I have sieved a ton of blackstone. I actually had to go to the nether and bring more. And I only got like 8 ancient debris, and then I noticed the reason. With a diamond mesh, there is a 0.1% chance. Yeah, with netherite mesh, it's going to be 1% chance, but we don't have enough. Yep. Just look at the crazy amount of black dye that I got. Okay, that's 9. Once we get 10, I'm just going to upgrade some of the meshes. This is not worth it. Still 9. Still 9? Yep, still 9. I sipped it so much. Yeah, okay, screw you. We upgrade. Also, how do we get the best yield? I am not going to go with integrated dynamics. Enrichment chamber is a bit out of the question. Rock crusher. Ah, no, never mind. It's a bit difficult to craft. But with thermal expansion's induction smelter, I think there's a guarantee that we will get 2. It's just that we need a teeny tiny bit of invar. And I don't have cinnabar, so I think we have to stick with 2. Yeah, it does give you 2, but wait a minute. You can use blaze powder and it's not that bad. That is something that I have in the thousands, so let's try that one. Also work faster, please. We're still getting 2. Well, that's it. Honestly speaking, I'm not picky. The chances are going to be 10 times higher anyways. Yeah, we just sieve with the netherite. That should give us more ancient debris. Not a whole lot, but a bit more. You know, for a second I thought maybe we should check out the energy condenser. I don't think that's gonna happen. Upgrading some of our meshes made a huge difference. You might notice that all 8 of them are now netherite. I have an extra ingot. And look, 50 ancient debris. But that is the last of my blackstone. I think I have gone through like 3000 of it. Maybe more. Yeah, each stack in my backpack is like 512. So maybe 5000 blackstone. But the fortune that we have on the meshes also help a bit, so can't really complain. I mean, it could have been worse. But now finally I can get some decent armor. And also decent enchantments, and look what I found. Mystical Enlightenment. Last Stand. These are nice. There is a mod called Advanced Netherite and it gives you a decent armor. I wanted to craft the best one and unfortunately, we're out of netherite again. Because one thing that I didn't notice is that in order to make the iron tier, yeah, you're going to need a netherite ingot. But if you go a tier higher, you also need the previous tier. And you can't skip. But each one gives you a better buff, so why not? And of course netherite diamond is the best, that's what we're going with. Also looks fancy. We have gone through 28 smithing templates. Let's get a bit more, just in case. This is not the sword that I made, probably I looted it, but we're going to upgrade this one. No? Oh yeah. We need 1 netherite ingot. This one has soulbound, nothing special. It's better than nothing. Yeah, you see, this one now does 11 damage. It's not bad. But with that, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's also a good time to wrap up the episode. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. This is kind of fun. Bye bye.